Hello everyone, and welcome back to that car vlog channel, and a video that for the first time in a while is not a car review, which is starting to feel kind of strange actually. I'm coming to you today from inside of my work truck because that's literally the only thing I ever get to drive anymore. It's literally takes all my time, but that's not what this video is about. So as followers of the channel may know, for the last 2 to 2.5 years, we have had a 2018 Toyota Highlander in our family, and I've done several videos on this thing. Of course, I made an initial review video and then a 1.5 year update, and I've made a few others along the way of, you know, minor repairs and things like that and minor modifications just to make life a little easier in the vehicle. Well, today is going to be the last video that there will ever be about that 2018 gray Toyota Highlander, because that gray 2018 Toyota Highlander is totaled and sitting in a scrapyard of some sort somewhere. I think it's a Copart if it hasn't been sold off at this point. So let's set the scene. It's August 27th. It's a Sunday. Now this is all 2023 talk. This year, that's when this video is being recorded and the accident happened. So it's August 27th. It's a Sunday. Right around 5 o'clock or so in the afternoon. We are on Interstate 75 heading towards Alcoa, Tennessee. Although that detail isn't important, I threw it in there anyway. So we're on Interstate 75 southbound, destination Alcoa, Tennessee, and it is just absolutely pouring down rain. I mean, it is intense. And so we're already kind of trying to hold back and be cautious as we can. And there's plenty of other drivers out there doing just that. And then, of course, you know, there's those other people who, just like so many out there, simply don't seem to care. They're going to drive that fast anyways. So we're coming down this big long hill on Interstate 75 South, and there's already an accident that has occurred because of this driving rain and the fact that a lot of interstate wrecks happen on that particular hill in Campbell County, Tennessee. And anyone who knows anything about Campbell County, Tennessee, and the interstate going through it knows that that hill going downhill, going south, there's a lot of wrecks there. So we come up on this back up, and everybody just all of a sudden starts coming to a dead stop. There's some people in front of us in a Ford pickup hauling a utility trailer. They come to a complete stop. I bring the Highlander to a complete stop, literally maybe a couple feet off the rear end of this utility trailer. Next thing I know, there's a white truck over here. White pickup truck is off the shoulder, trying not to hit us. And it can't be two seconds, maybe 5 seconds later, my attention is suddenly shifted to the right side of the car as a big 18-wheeler, a tractor-trailer, comes sliding down the side of our vehicle, ripping some of the paneling off, blowing out the airbags, and of course, we found out later, totaling the car. Now, of course, we had a dash cam in that car, which will be reinstalled in the black one just as soon as I'm able. And I do have front and rear shots of that. I'm going to go ahead and throw those up on the screen right now. Okay, yeah, so as you probably saw in that front clip, you can see where I come to a complete stop without hitting that utility trailer, although it was pretty close. And just seconds later, that truck came scraping outside of ours, and it actually managed to come to a stop after hitting that very same utility trailer. I can only imagine the people in the truck being very thankful I didn't hit it just for someone else to hit it. Now, the more important details about what went down are in the rear view shot, actually. If we're paying attention to the rear view, you can see at one point where I hadn't been running the rear wiper on the Highlander, and I had made the decision seemingly out of the blue, hey, I should probably turn that rear wiper on. You know, I like to have a little more visibility myself. And so I hit that wiper. And next thing you know, we're coming to a stop and you can see that Enterprise rental truck pass us, followed by a red Dodge Durango, and then you can see the guy in the 18-wheeler. It looks to me like he smacked the rear end of that Durango and most likely shoved it into the rear end of that Enterprise rental truck, because once I got out at the scene and started looking at the vehicles, the front end of that Durango was unrecognizable, pretty much from the firewall forward. You couldn't tell what it was. And it looked like that truck smacked the rear end of that Durango, shoved it into the rear of that Enterprise rental truck, and when he did, he veered over into our lane, the inside lane, sideswiped us, blew out our airbags, actually tore the exterior door paneling, the door skin, off of the passenger door, which, my wife was actually sitting in the passenger seat. And then he hit that utility trailer in front of us. So in all, we're talking about 5 vehicles, if you count the trailer as a vehicle, involved in this particular accident that happened right behind the scene of another one. And so, of course, naturally I get out, start taking pictures, talking to the drivers, talking to the people who responded. Of course, we dialed 911 because we didn't know if anybody else had. Since the wife was sitting over on the passenger side, and that's where the impact was, she's the one that received injury. Now, they're not major. They did take her off in an ambulance to the local hospital, and she was only there for a few hours. Just some major bruising, but that's gone by now. It's just fine, but nothing broken, no internal bleeding, no blunt force trauma, any of that. Just some major bruising. Definitely shaken up quite a bit. It definitely bruised her psyche just a little bit, as it will, almost being run over by a massive truck like that. But all in all, everything's fine. The lovely part of all this was the start of my vacation week. I was taking a week off because our 10-year anniversary was that week. And so the first half of the week was just nothing but dealing with insurance and the tow yard. And once the wife was hauled off, we did put the Highlander up on a rollback. One funny thing I found was the passenger side taillight was not busted out when the truck hit. It wasn't until they started pulling it up onto the rollback that the taillight blew out. Other than the fact that when the truck hit, it busted a chunk out of the front wheel and ripped a hole in the tire, the Highlander was still able to mostly pull itself onto the rollback and actually was able to back itself off when it got to the tow yard. My guy here is going to back it down off the truck to make it easier to get things out of it, because it will still move under its own power even with that busted wheel. But this is what the passenger side of the car looks like. This is where the 18-wheeler kind of smacked into it and just came right down the side, ripped that door skin off actually, and busted up that tire, blew out the curtain airbags, busted out that one window, but the other 2 windows are fine. I have a wild feeling that this is definitely going to be totaled by insurance company. Here's our door skin laying over here. It ripped the door skin off that passenger door where the wife was sitting. Yeah, this thing is pretty much screwed. There's the taillight. I was going to fix this taillight. You can see where it's getting water in it. I was going to fix that, replace that one piece there, but I don't have to do that now. I was going to get transmission service done on it. Probably don't need to do that now. So there's that glass. Yeah. No one's seriously injured. I was driving, so I'm actually fine. The wife's in some sort of pain, but that's expected. She'll be fine. The car, on the other hand, I think it's pretty much done. So the wife goes to the hospital. I have to stay behind with the Highlander. I ride to the tow yard with the tow truck driver. We drop the car off, and I start gathering as much as I can out of the car. And this driver was super cool. He actually took me back to a McDonald's a ways back, closer to the interstate, so that the person coming to pick me up and take me back to the house could meet me. At which point I went back to the house and grabbed another vehicle. And I was going to go with the wife, and then the state trooper that responded had some paperwork for me, so he called me and had to meet him. By the time that was all done with, the wife was ready to go home from the hospital. So that's interesting how that played out. I'll also go ahead and throw the towing company's name out there because they were great to work with. And although I cannot remember the guy's name who towed our car, he was amazing. The company is Sweats Towing, S-W-E-A-T-S, Sweats Towing of La Follette, Tennessee. And they were great to deal with. I was able to go back out to the yard and just go down there and tell them I need to get in there and get more stuff. And he came out and unlocked the gate for me. I was able to get our tow package, our hitch bar and all that stuff, wiring and stuff off of the gray Highlander for use in what we hoped would be another Highlander. And I was also able to get the rest of my dash cam wiring stuff out of there too, so I could reuse that. Okay, so how in the world did we get around after that? Well, my wife, being the smart insurance person that she is, when she was still working for USAA, which at one time we were USAA customers and she worked for them. She's going to kill me for that. We were USAA members and she works for them as well at the time. At some point last year, she did two very important things with our car insurance. One, she increased the loaner car coverage, the rental coverage, to allow us to get an SUV instead of a sedan. The last time we had to utilize the loaner car service, we got a Chevy Malibu, which ironically is actually on the channel. You can go check that car out. This time they put us in a 2023 Ford Flex, and although she didn't like all that much, I didn't think it was too bad of a car. I never got a chance to film it though. Oh well. And the other thing she did was add vehicle replacement assistance, which if you've never heard of that, I don't know how it works with every insurance company. I don't even know how many of them actually offer it. With USAA, it gives you an additional 20% on top of the actual cash value of your vehicle, which definitely helps to pay that loan off and get us into something else. So of course, a day or two after this wreck happened, of course we immediately started talking to the dealer that we bought several cars from already, Volunteer Auto Group, formerly known as Everly Auto Sales. And it just so happens they actually opened a store in Knoxville, so we don't have to go to Maryville. We searched their website. They have 5 dealership locations and had one Highlander of any model year at all. And so she called them up. She called the sales guy that she's been working with and said, we want that 2019 Highlander. We went and looked at it, and we were going to wait until we got a settlement check to try to get into this car, but thankfully we didn't have to do that. They said, let's see if we can't, you know, with your history and whatnot, if we can't just get you into this thing and out the door and not need anything up front. Luckily they managed to do that. And just a few days later, like 4 days later, she was in a 2019 black Toyota Highlander. I actually took a video clip of that as well, so here's that clip. All right, and here it is. Here's the replacement car, the 2019 Toyota Highlander instead of the 2018. As you can see, this one is black, but it is the same vehicle. It's got the same wheels. And if we come around the back, we'll see one other key detail that's changed. It is no longer an all-wheel drive. This is the front-wheel drive version of the car. But it's pretty much the exact same vehicle, just front-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive. But I really, really like this color on the Highlander a lot better than the gray color. I think it looks great in black. Now, if we open it up, you're going to see the customization has already began. But check out this interior. It's black as well, but with the brown accents. I just think this is a much better looking interior. Got the brown in the tray right there. Otherwise, exact same vehicle, just a year newer, and I think a lot nicer color. Now, as of filming, you can see it's got just over 65,000 miles on it. It had just over 59, so we put 6,000 on it since we got it. Yeah, this clip's being recorded quite a bit later. As far as content on this, I don't know exactly what all might be done. Biggest thing, of course, is I'm going to put the trailer hitch back on this one that was on the gray one, and I'm going to reinstall the dash cam out of that. Luckily, I was able to salvage both of those things from that car to reuse in this one. Otherwise, I'm not really sure what kind of content we're going to have on this car, aside from possibly, you know, like major services once the time comes, such as transmission service and that kind of thing. But here we have it, the replacement for the gray Highlander that was totaled by that 18-wheeler. And let's step back and y'all tell me, do you think black is a better looking color on these cars? I definitely think it is. A couple details that are a little bit better on this one than were on the gray one. This bumper cover has not pulled away. It was pulled away right here on both sides, and you could not get it to stay. Not a thing we have to worry about here. Really, that was the biggest exterior cosmetic flaw, was that bumper cover being not perfectly snapped into place. But yeah, very happy with the replacement. Very happy with this, and well, I guess time will tell how this thing goes. Hopefully just as well as the old one, or better. And of course, if anything major happens to it, it'll definitely be documented on the channel, as always. So as you see, it's pretty much the exact same vehicle, which is kind of cool. You go into this with a sense of familiarity. The biggest key difference is The old one's all-wheel drive, this one is front-wheel drive. We had a 2018 that at the time of the wreck had over 80,000 miles on it. Now we have a 2019 that we got with 59,000 miles on it. At the time of filming this video, it's pretty much exactly 2 months after the accident. Just to tell you what kind of time I've had to do things. Of course, we are obviously very happy with the outcome of this and the replacement vehicle. And as it turns out, this car, really as bad as this experience was, it actually ended up providing one pretty significant blessing, and that is with the deal that we were able to work out on the black Highlander. We got a payment that is a few $100s lower than the one on the gray one, which was not low. We'll just call it that. It was not low whatsoever. And so we're very glad of that. She's back in a car she's familiar with, and so the saga will continue with the black one now. Like I said in the clip, I don't know how much content there will be on that. I do have at least one thing planned for it. I don't know if it will make a good full video on its own, but I do have at least one thing planned for it that I was going to do to the gray one, and I still wanted to do this one. And it's already been approved by the wife, so we don't have to worry about me dying. So there's a few important lessons to take away from our experience with this. And those things are, one, if you don't have car insurance, get it, because trust me, if we had been insured, we'd be screwed. I mean, maybe the trucking company's insurance would have still paid for it, but I'm sure it would have been a much harder battle. Whereas our insurance just pays a claim, and I would assume goes after them because, well, the truck driver was deemed completely at fault for that. If you don't have insurance, get it, because you're going to need it. And if you're in places like Tennessee, you have to have it everywhere. But if you're in places like Tennessee, they actually check for that stuff. I have actually received letters in the past for vehicles that were kind of let go and had to insure before they took away my registration. Number two, and this is important, especially if you have bought your vehicle during the time of hyperinflation and when the car prices went insane. If your insurance company offers any kind of replacement assistance that you can purchase along with your insurance, like I just talked about a minute ago, get that, because what happens is you buy this car at 2020, 2021 prices, you bought this in 2021, 2023 comes along, you've put 50,000 miles on the car, and now the value is lower than what you owe. This definitely helps get you some more money towards paying off that loan. And if you can get rental reimbursement, loaner car type coverage, that's also great to have, so you have something to get around in until you can get a replacement vehicle. Also, if you don't have a dash cam installed in your vehicle, I highly recommend installing a dash cam in your car. So many people do. Now, while neither the authorities nor the insurance company asked us for the video footage, and the police at the scene knew we had a dash cam because I specifically mentioned that we did. They did not ask us for it. There was enough evidence there and, witness accounts that they didn't even need it. But it was nice to know that we had the footage in case we did need it. Just in case there was some sort of fight, some sort of, they said this, whatever. We have proof that we were stationary and this truck came over the hill and smashed into 4 vehicles. And as a bonus, it gives me clips to use in a video such as this. And the biggest and most obvious one is if you're driving through inclement weather, such as, driving pouring rain, the kind that hinders your visibility, just be careful. You don't have to take the interstate at race car speeds at all times. There's nothing wrong with being safe, and there's so many people on the road that would just rather get to where they're going as fast as possible, not caring about anybody else on the road, rather than being safe. Don't be that person. Just drive safe. I don't know why this still has to be said, but it still has to be said because humans are going human. So anyways, y'all, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video, the final video of the 2018 gray Toyota Highlander, and what happened to it, and where we go from here. Now, if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen the other videos on the Highlander, definitely go back to the channel and check out the playlist on the 2018 Toyota Highlander. You're going to find the initial review video there after we bought it. You're going to find the 1.5 year review. You're going to find things like replacing brakes, trailer hitch install, dash cam install, things like that. And while you're there, if you want to check out anything else, definitely check out the other things that I've got on the channel. I've got a lot more car reviews on the channel now. I've started getting into some newer vehicles, which is absolutely amazing. And just go check out, see what I've got, see if there's anything you like. There's probably something there for just about everybody. If you like what you see, consider subscribing to the channel. Follow on Facebook and Instagram at that car vlog channel. Those are other great ways to get notified when videos go up. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.